Peace, YouTube. This is Fleurbrun coming to you today with another topic of discussion. It's a piece to the east, the west, the north, and the south. Check on in. Make sure you put a like once you come in the door. And I'm going to start off with actually an artist who's coming for the Fleurbrun Experiencer Conference.
Check.
Big up to amazing. Oh, everyone's calling at once. Wow. Big up to Cosmic Poet. This is big up to him. He will be joining us for the Experiencer Fleurbrun Conference. Okay.
My name is the Cosmic Poet. I'm going to
Check
share
on
a
it.
piece with you tonight. This piece is entitled "Let It Be As It May." Let it dissolve into the turbulence. Let it siphon away all distress. Let it feel like something, then prove itself to you that it is nothing less than a test of devotion, a powerful locomotion, a passion-filled, revolving ocean, a light taste of heaven which comes and goes. This of which I speak, you already know.
Big up to Cosmic
When
Poet.
we release fear,
Check on the Baron.
we release karma.
I love saying that
When
too.
we embody our true divinity, nothing is ever hard for. Labels have been distortions of who we truly are.
Hey, Yafi.
Past, present, confusion is bottled up in our worst enemies, which are ourselves. In the end run, we never
Everyone's texting
always
today.
close to
What's going
home.
on? Like, as soon as I come on live, like, the whole house has been quiet until I go live.
We know,
So classic. Hey, Pavel.
but the truth is that we know knowing,
Rohan,
not
rather.
knowing, is so much
Please
more
hit the
blissful.
please push the like button before I start going sidebarring. I'd appreciate if you put the like button if you're coming in the house.
Fight
Thank you.
begets fight. Passion begets compassion.
Big up to Cosmic Poet who will be joining us for the Fleurbrun Experiencer Conference. Big up to all those who were joining us. Already booked their reservations for the conference. Big up to those who made donations for the Animal Sanctuary, for Fleurbrun Animal Sanctuary. So big up to all.
Of what you call limited vision.
Hey, LaShawn.
Witnesses have come, but few have stayed to journey into the realms of receptivity, into the halls of eternity.
So I'm going to pause a little bit. Big up to Cosmic Poet. Again, I wanted to give you a little taster of this magical sun star who decided to join us, you know, in our contactee world on the Experiencer Conference. So I'm going to get another conversation. I was supposed to come to you guys later. Hey, Taylor. I was supposed to come to you later, yesterday, but I was all kinds of busy, so I decided to come to you today. And I have a whole lot of time to actually discuss the topic of discussion. So, you know, as I was chilling out, catching up on videos, a lot of you guys send me amazing videos. There's a lot of questions on my email. So I'm going to take this video as almost like a Q&A because a lot of you send me questions and I can't. Listen, it isn't even my personality to want to write. I read emails and sometimes it's very difficult for me to get back to each and every person. Just because I have a life, I have a day, I have a little niece does, and I have a mate. So because of that, I read them and I do want to answer them, but it's better for me to answer them in the video because a lot of you watch me in video. So I appreciate if you put a like on the video once again to show YouTube that we are a relative community. Greetings from Germany. Germany's in the house. Hey, Fancy. So let's get into the topic of discussion. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. It's 10, the 1 mark. Lisa, thank you, love. I appreciate it. So I wanted to know if any of you had your matrix inoculations. Remember, it's only free to those who are in heightened awareness and consciousness. Why I made that the title of this video is because I'm seeing and no, I am observing on YouTube and social media a rampant amount of low field, and actually with the collapsing of the timeline, I'm actually seeing all the diabolicals group up together. If you didn't know who someone was, see who they're hanging out with. This is amazing. Now I understand why when Saturn does a drive-by, because Saturn's doing drive-bys right now, I saw karma play out so quick that it was so crazy that I was like, oh snap. I was like, this is real. You know, I know things are real sometimes and I have my own theories on things, but when you actually see the reveal show up, you're kind of like, oh snap, I'm glad I left that building before 2 o'clock. You know what I mean? I'm glad I shut that friendship down. Listen, people are showing themselves and they're actually showing, drive-by by Daddy Saturn's doing drive-bys, and I'm seeing it. He did a couple drive-bys in a neighborhood on YouTube, and I literally, hey, Quantum Sensei, I was literally like, oh, I was in awe because I didn't realize, even though I know this, sometimes I go into sleeper mode. So you ever go into like a fog, a matrix fog? Sometimes you go back to sleep and then something, revelation happens and it wakes you back up. That's what I saw. So I was seeing actually, and this is what I'm saying, many people who are already had their matrix inoculations. They always want you to get a vaccination for something, but they're inoculations. And many of you know I'm connected and I've been seeded by the Andromedans. Big up to the Andromedan sea stars who actually seeded Fleurbrun and many of my sea stars here and make this possible for me to even bring this intel to you and to protect me. I'm grateful for that because a lot of things are going down. But what I noticed is that when I was looking in the matrix on the social media networks, I don't really get a chance to, but I had a moment to watch. I noticed that all alliances are now being solidified. All those who are in the same alliance, that's what I'm saying. If you are concerned about the Popeye shots, we're going to get into that. If you are concerned about where somebody's consciousness lays, or where someone's alliances are, if you look right now and you see who's aligned with who, so let's just say you have somebody on social media who you really, really rock with. You love them, you appreciate them. Hey, Mother's Way. You really appreciate them, but you're seeing them hang with a diabolical, and not only just one diabolical, there's another diabolical. So they're sandwiching between these diabolicals. Family means they're diabolical. They're just giving you smoke screens, smoke and mirrors. They're showing you and they're propagating themselves as what they really aren't, because they could not be hanging and associated with diabolicals unless in the core of who they are and who they may not be perpetuating themselves to be on social media is the diabolical. So all the illusions, thank you, Courtney, all the illusions have been removed. Whoever is associated, I haven't seen so much rightful associations in my life. And I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm seeing people who I have a heightened awareness. So I know where people's alignment, even people that I knew that I needed to remove from my life. I guess the drive-bys were going to happen. And this is where I say it's amazing. And you should be very grateful for anyone who's removed those things in their lives that weren't serving their highest and greatest good. Meaning that you basically probably got a matrix inoculation. And once you got your matrix inoculation, you were unable to tolerate the viruses of the low diabolical, low field savages, Thotterinas, Hotepians, okay? You were unable to allow these parasites or these vampires to even be around or attached to you. So once you got your matrix inoculation, everything fell to the wayside. Everything fell away from you. All the viruses were excommunicated from you. But you were noticing that the virus quickly went to those within the same frequency. So now as we're watching and observing on YouTube and social media and even on the news, even the president of Brazil is being seen as they are. I said Hotepian. Pick up to Mount Vernon. I make up words. I have a whole vocabulary just totally designate. Look at the reptilian in my eye. My eyes change colors. Do you see my eye? I'm sorry, family. My eyes actually change colors. That's strange. My eyes have been shape-shifting for the last 3 days. It's the collapse. Have you noticed your eyes have been changing? You guys, I got that fire. Word up. Do you guys notice your eyes are changing? Did you see Offset? Big up to Offset. Where are you, Offset? I saw Offset's hair. You can't tell me. Offset used to have these beautiful golden highlights in her hair. Her hair is really beautifully dark now. Did you notice that maybe she darkened it? But no, Offset's hair changed. I was like, is that part of what I'm seeing on social media? Her hair is darker. I was like, wait a second, did she flip times? Because I have to make sure I'm rational, because sometimes, people just put a rinse in their hair. But I looked at her beautiful hair. She has the most beautiful locks. I see her hair. Normally she has like the honeydew, because from the sun, you get these honeydews. A lot of us get the honeydew in our hair. She had these honeydew. Her hair is dark, so she looks totally thick. Big up to Offset. Offset, I seen you in the convergence. Big up to Offset. I seen you converge with the other aspect of I may not know this, Offset. We're going to get reacquainted. It's darker. Maybe she did a rinse or something, but I was like, oh, snap. I looked at her video. I was like, wait a second. Is that Offset? I was like, wait. You have to test your rationality sometimes. You have to say, wait, I know we're in a convergence. I know I'm going to see differences, but is this a difference? And sometimes people do things based on them being in a convergence. So maybe Offset woke up. She's gonna be like, Fleurbrun, why are you discussing my hair? Maybe she woke up and wanted her hair dark based on the convergence, because maybe the person she was in the other convergence had dark locks. And the darker locks who converged on top of her wanted it back to the dark locks. So even if she did it herself, it's still in alignment with the convergence. May you turn the volume up, please? You can't hear me? You can't hear, can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Can I get a 13 if you can hear me? Can I get a 13 that you guys can hear me? And can I get likes, please? Can everyone put a beautiful like? I really appreciate it if you put a like on my video. And it's been doing really well. I will say, they haven't messed with me. Oh, she said it was an urge to lock. Yes. 13. Okay, cool. You guys can hear me okay. So if you're coming in the room, please put a like on the video. I appreciate it. So, I noticed that. So as I'm watching social media, see, I noticed something. I noticed something in social media. I was looking at someone's channel one time. Now listen to this, family. It was crazy. I was looking at someone's channel like a couple days, maybe 5-6 days ago. I didn't mention it. So I'm looking at the channel, and I take pictures of everything. So big up to all those with a proper investigate. Thank you, y'all. Big up to the 13s in the house. The 13 is a divine feminine conscious power number. We utilized it. We took our 13 back, and as you know, in every 13th, we've been making sure we incorporate that. So, so what I noticed with her is that she oh no, I was talking big up to outside. I already finished that conversation, but what I also noticed is I saw a person's channel. So I was watching a channel. I love to watch. Big up to everyone who has a channel. I love watching the different channels because I don't get a chance to watch it very often because I'm really, not like I take a lot of effort in my videos. Big up to those who really don't put a lot of effort into their videos, who just come authentic and new. If you wonder why Fleurbrun doesn't put graphics or edit her videos, it's because I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm outside all the time and I really just don't want to do it. So I just want to say that to you. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, it'd be so cool if you do graphics. I understand it would be, but like I said, I came when it was beepers. I came in the set when it was beepers. I know many people don't believe me, but I did. So for me, this is extra, and this is as much extra as you're gonna get right here. So I apologize for those. Because some people, like, you know, you get the videos and I sidebar all the time. And hey, Bitchy girl, I sidebar all the time, and it's just like, you know, you're like, oh, if I could just snip and tuck it, you know, do a snip and tuck. I don't even know how to do that. So big up to all those who tolerate Fleurbrun's channel, the 111 who put the likes on here. Big up to all those who put likes on the video. I appreciate you rocking with me, my archaic self. Just be grateful I'm not as modern as the others, because then I might be some other frequency. Hey, Selma. So I was discussing the matrix inoculation. So for those in higher vibration, you notice that all that aren't in your alignment are falling away from you. All that are, and I haven't ever in the years that I've been on this planet, in other realms and other existence and other timelines, because they've all collapsed, I'm all incorporating all the memories that I have of all the other Fleurbrun's and delgaddesses and edomal plaisers and all the other beings inside of me that have basically are reintroducing themselves to me like a Sybil effect. I noticed that people are aligning with those in the same vibration. So if you are concerned about who someone is by the very nature of who they're associating with, all those who are diabolical are all hanging out with one another. Social media is showing it to the greatest and highest degree. It's amazing. I'm so happy that for once we don't necessarily have to put on our rosy glasses or our special glasses to try to see through the BS. We literally are seeing through it. So I realized when Saturn was coming back home, Daddy Saturn, I love that our niece said that. Daddy Saturn's coming back home, Santa Claus. He knows when you were sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. So Saturn, Santa Saturn is coming back September the 18th. And I noticed he's doing drive-bys in a neighborhood near you. And I noticed why he separated the convergence has separated the different factions. Oh, thank you, Claire. I appreciate it, Mama. Mwah. Bisou, bisou, bisou. He separated the different factions to allow for proper administration of karma. Isn't that amazing? He's actually separated us to actually allow for karma to be properly instituted to those who, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be amazing, a beautiful karma. Karma's not negative or positive. It's just is. Karma is what you do. So whatever you do, that's what your karma is. Okay, so I love that I'm seeing it play out. But I was watching, okay, I sidebar. So I'm watching someone's channel like 5 to 6 days ago. And I'm looking, and their numbers, you know the subscribers numbers? Big up to all those in the house. Can you put a like on the video? I would really appreciate it. I noticed their numbers in their subscribers box. You know the little subscriber box when you go into someone's channel? I think, yeah, it comes up. This is how archaic I am. I don't even remember half the time. The subscriber box kept changing numbers. I said, I don't smoke weed. I'm not a chiefer. Big up to all the chiefers in the house. I'm not chiefing. I'm not on mushrooms. I don't drink alcohol. I ain't sipping on the yak. I'm not drinking coffee at night. This was in the evening, so I wasn't high off caffeine. Okay, so I have to tell you the rationale. Someone said puff. Jennifer said puff. So I was, let's just say I was sober and sane, and I'm looking at the person's number on the subs, and the sub number kept going up like astronomically. So I'm looking at the person, and I'm seeing before me, it went up to like 100,000 subscribers. The person at the time had like maybe in the low thousands, like 6,000 or 7,000. So it jumped to 100,000 and then it jumped down. Then it jumped to like 25,000 and it jumped down. Then it jumped to 39,000 or 38,000 or something like that, then it jumped down. I was like, oh, so I'm taking pictures, click. See, this is why you will appreciate Fleurbrun, because I don't just talk about it, I be about it, and I like to bring proof. Because a lot of times what happens is that if you don't get proof, there's a lot of beings who don't really think that you're legitimate. They will say, oh, Fleurbrun, she's so full of it. She makes things up. She embellishes everything. There is zero embellishment in anything I talk about, other than maybe my weight. Bigger to the thickums in the house. I'm joking. I don't embellish. I don't have to embellish my weight because it fluctuates beautifully. So I never noticed that you could see a fluctuation like that. So I took pictures. I approve. I don't want to put it out there because it's somebody y'all probably know. And I ain't trying to be dirty. And there's a lot of fighting, a lot of drive-bys going on karmically. I'm staying out of that fight. But if anybody, I kept it in the archives as proof that this happens. So the person had an influctuation of subscribers. And I thought that was interesting that I was seeing that. It could be the timeline influx too. It doesn't have to necessarily be in what do you call it? It doesn't necessarily have to be something diabolical. It could just be something. I could just be something. Mine don't do that. My subs are my subs and my subs. They kick you off of my sub list. This is what's interesting with me. I don't know if I'm the only one, because I don't know that I've heard anyone, but they kick everybody. They kick you off my sub list at least 1 or 2 times. I can't help it either because it's nothing. I don't know why they do it. So a lot of people say, Fleurbrun, I'm sub to you and I get kicked off. It is why YouTube. That's why I tell you to put likes on my videos so that they think that they're not getting away with it. Because if you put likes on my video, they know that people are watching and observing their diabolical behavior, and they know that they're on front and they're being put on Front Street. Because a lot of times they get away with it because you don't see it. You know what I mean? So, before I never cared about likes because I don't really put credence. I share and we share together. So I know the people here are for the right frequency, but I only started to be more aware of it when I started to survey the people coming to my page, and also to let them know that we're about this life. And this is one of the channels that started here as just a mom, a regular person. There wasn't anything attached to it. I didn't start my channel based on craziness. I just shared what I knew and what I was experiencing, and that was it. Okay, so we got drive-bys going on. I noticed that all the diabolicals are hanging out with one another. So if you have a problem with somebody, then you're gonna have a problem with who they hang out with. Whoever they're hanging out with, you got a problem with them too, because they're all in the same vibration. So basically, for all those who fell away from you, Summer Dawn says she doesn't consent. For all those who fell away from you, who have nicely, beautifully, either it's a job has fallen away from you, friends that were no longer, hey Hayden, people who weren't, I love water. Let me say that again. I love healthy, nutritious water. I'm sorry. I wear this matte lipstick. I don't wear makeup too often, but when I love you already know, that's my signature. When I'm wearing my beautiful red garnet lipstick, you already know it's on and popping. So when I come on YouTube and I have the garnet on, you already know I'm feeling myself, okay? It's rare, because usually I come on with nothing, but when I have the red garnet, it means I'm having a good day. So yeah, a lot of people are falling away from old people that aren't in their highest and greatest good. And it could be anybody. It could be family members. Like literally I separated, and it was interesting because I think we discussed this before. I realized that even my tolerance, once a convergence happened, I wasn't able to tolerate like even the slightest things anymore. Look at my eyes are shape-shifting. This is awesome. See, I want to take a picture. Can someone see, you think I just get on people whose eyes shapeshift? I pay attention to my own family. See, I'm an equal opportunist. I don't just pay attention to your shifting of eyes. I do pay attention because my eye color is different, and it's based on the convergence. It's very interesting. So what I will say is that people were falling away, and when the convergence happens, I didn't have tolerance for anyone who was just outside of my comfort. So if someone was slightly, many of you, we discussed this, many of you were feeling the same way. It's like, normally I had a tolerance. One thing I will say, I'm very, very well rounded. I have friends and family of all nations. It's why our platform here is the most internationally astounded platform. We have the most amazing sea stars and sun stars from all different countries here because I come from a foreign background, and I know that it really holds that vibration of allowing almost like our own United Nations of beings that we coexist, and United Nations of species. Because it's not only one species that comes to Fleurbrun's channel. You already know that. We have all kinds of reptilians, from the draconians who are on here, yeah, even the draconians. We have the subterranean reptilians that like to rock with us. We got the Arcturian groups. We got the Pelagians. We got the Andromedans. All the Andromedans of the blue beings as well. We also have some of the Anunnaki, both factions, who rock with us. We also have the Alpha Centaurians who are down with us. And you already know I have a sect of the Zeta Reticulans because I used to be part of Zeta Talk. So we have a host of different species that even rock with this channel. And we have clones, empty seaters, holographic people who are on here too. And someone asked me, do holographic people know that they're holographic? No, not all the time. Someone asked me that question, big up to the Sea Star who asked me that question on my email. Holographic beings don't know that they're holographic. How you may identify if you're a holographic being is because you loop all the time. You're always looping in the same program. So every single relationship will be the same loop. And that could be karmic residuals that are unresolved as well. Be careful with that, because looping could mean that you're not learning the lesson. So you get looping based on the fact that you aren't growing and evolving past that. But if you are continuously looping in all facets of your life, and you were always driven by a program, meaning that, oh, the veganism came on, you were on veganism. But 5 years ago, maybe you were on the raw foodist, okay? There's a new, if Popeyes is giving free chicken sandwiches with all kinds of microbes and all kinds of viruses and mass destruction, you were down with the chicken sandwich. You are always continuously going on drives of waves. And that will also let you know trends. Thank you. Trending people, because listen, big to all the vegans in the house. See, I come from that community, so I'm gonna have to check it. Some of y'all are just out of control. You're just hostile. Some of the vegans are hostile. Being a vegan, usually if you're a healthy vegan, you're so soft. You actually are harmonic. If you're hostile and mean-spirited and just venomous and just mad all the time, veganism isn't the lifestyle for you. And you probably joined it because you jumped on the bandwagon, because I come from that. Vegans that I knew are so beautifully soft and amazing and so kind and so sensitive. These vegans, this trending veganism, these what I call them the vegan infectious vegans right now, they are hostile. They aren't vegans. They're very heinous beings. I think they're empty seaters personally, or they've already been taken over by nanobots where they're already infected with the others. Okay, I think they are because they're hostile and they're so mean-spirited. They will call you names. I mean, that's not vegan-esque. That's how you know they aren't real vegans. These are the bandwagon vegans that have jumped on a very mean-spirited. I know some of the most amazing vegans because they came from the time frame where I was, and they didn't jump on a trend. So pulling back to what I was saying, if you're trending all the time, or you care about the colors of the season, the pumpkin spice in, because you know now Starbucks, y'all pumpkin, I'm gonna get on y'all pumpkin spicers. All the pumpkin spice, you know, because pumpkin spice is like a flavor that comes in Starbucks. I don't mess with pumpkin spice, but all you pumpkin spicers, let me stop. I know you guys like the pumpkin spice. I don't mess with the pumpkin. Yeah, some of you do. They go in, listen, they take over all the lines in Starbucks. I gotta order my coffee. Y'all pumpkin spicers coming and you taking up the line. You're getting pumpkin spice frappuccinos, you're getting pumpkin spice cold brews, you're getting I don't do pumpkin spice in anything, not my drinks. You know, I like pumpkin pies. I do like pumpkin pies. I do like Apollonia says she's guilty. Y'all were taking up the whole line today. I didn't even want to be in Starbucks, but I already needed to go and get my fix. I'm sorry. I told you I have an addiction to, I don't really have an addiction. I have an affair with coffee. It isn't healthy, and I've already copped to my issue with coffee. So if you can understand that, and I know that you guys like to tell me I'm poisoning myself, but there could be worse things. I'm not using tin pots. I stay away from tin foil. I haven't used the microwave in over almost 18, no, let me not exaggerate, over 10 or 15 years. That's when you know you're getting up there in seasoning. Over 10 or 15 years. I use bamboo to wipe my specials. You know, listen, I do everything well, and I recycle. I'm not perfect. So I have to say that to you, because you'd be like, you're Fleurbrun, I can't listen to you because you drink coffee, you drink Starbucks. Listen, there are a lot of things I could do worse. I'm grateful it's just that. If that's a deal breaker, there's a lot worse things going on in the world. You sampled the TP, the bamboo TP? Yeah, I love my stuff. You have an affair with coffee too? Listen, I deserve it, right? I think so. Anyway, so family, so you're noticing the drive-bys going by, and holographic people, like I said, are trenders. So they tend to go on these cycles. So that's how you know if you're, because someone asked me, how do you know if you're a holographic being? They don't know that they're holographic based on the fact that they're programmed to think that they're real. And that's the only way they can actually interact with you, is if they have a sense of being having a kind of like a sense, a programmed sense of being that they feel is natural. So sometimes, hey Sydney, sometimes what happens is that holographic beings don't know, and they're just they're just in the program. But whatever trending is coming up, that's what the holograph. So if they're wearing pink socks on Tuesdays, the holographic being will want to wear pink socks. If they're sending undercurrent of influential waves, it's called subsidiary waves. They do that. They do that sometimes, which it's illegal, but in certain states they still do it. I did research on that back in the days. It's called subliminal messaging, but they do it programming it in society. They did it like last time they did it on a mass wave. I don't know if many of you remember. They did it about 8 years ago. 8 years they did it's called a subliminal tester. So what they did is they put subliminal messages for people to wear certain color shirts and the men to wear wife beaters. I don't think some of you remember this. Wife beaters. Some of you may not know what wife beaters are. It's like the white ribbed t-shirts for males. So on that day, they did a census and found out who was affected by the subliminal messages that was utilized. They're not allowed to do that, but they do that governmentally sometimes, and advertisers do that. So they found out that many people, and I remember the day because there was tons of people wearing the white t-shirts, and there was a lot of women wearing, I think it was teal or something like that. That's when teal was actually green and not pink. I don't know what color. Remember in the Mandela effect now, teal I think is pink, but teal back in the days, I don't know if teal is still teal anymore. I don't remember. We've collapsed many timelines. The Mandela effect. Teal for you is pink. Teal for me was always like a green, like a sea moss. I remember like 6 months ago, somebody said teal was pink, like a fuchsia looking color. I don't know what fuchsia is anymore. I don't even know the color. No, it's like blue. Oh, thank you. Maybe I'm wrong. But I remember somebody said teal was pink. I was like, thank you. Thank you. Teal is, okay, thank you. Y'all know. Teal is like a seafoam green. Someone said to me it was pink one day. I was like, that you're apparently not from my timeline. You apparently are not from there. So Saturn is coming in and you're starting to see it. Now, on social media, I notice a lot of fights. Now, it's gotten to the point where it's so diabolical. Like I said, I think people on social media should take it back a step and just really chill out. Because there isn't anything online that should motivate you to want to hurt somebody, fight somebody, or hurt someone's life. And there's a lot of, I noticed a lot of infighting, but I noticed that the people who are infighting are leagues of doom themselves. So all of the diabolical ones are lumping together, and they're battling each other. So I'm staying out of that. I've already had my matrix inoculation. Many of you have. So we see it for what it is, and we just basically keep it moving, because we don't have a bone in that fight. I watched it, and then some of you, listen, stop sending me fight videos from Popeyes chicken. Wait. I'm drinking sea moss, family. You want to know? Somebody asked me what I was drinking. This is sea moss, Jamaican sea moss. I love this. This is like, sea moss is creamy. They make it like a shake. Hold on. It is so good. If you want to for all you hostile vegans, y'all need some sea moss to get you some nutrients or something, because y'all are hostile. I can recommend this. I would even make it for you, because I think you guys need like a detox, some nutrients in your system, and you need like you need to like be put in the Himalayas for like a month so you come back to like a healthy homeostasis, because some of you are mad. I don't know if you're mad because you're hungry. I don't know what it is, but you really need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay, so yeah, some of you send me videos of Popeye fights. What's wrong with you? And it's wrong because I'll watch it. So I'm opening the videos. I know you guys, because I mentioned Popeyes has infected chicken, and they put it out there, and apparently, I didn't know. Mary Kay, big up to Mary Kay. Mary Kay told me about the whole Popeye chicken craziness, that they were having a chicken sandwich. And I told you, the chickens that you're eating are the white feathered chickens with pink eyes. You don't see that out in nature. So you already know that's a genetically homogenized organism. It is a genetically modified organism. And it is literally whatever they're promoting to you, and they're putting in the mass race, and people are going in and they're being automated to go and get it. I personally think they chipping people, or they got an infection of some sort of entity attached to the chicken. I'm being honest. Whenever they do, I've never seen anything like it. I told you I drove past it with my mother, and I didn't know why they were having lines. So they sent me videos. They were beating each other up. They were beating up the people behind the counter because there was no more chicken. What is wrong with this world? You're fighting people over fried chicken that's got all kinds of chemicals in it. God knows they probably frying it with soy oil. They probably got all kinds of nanotechnology in it. Everybody's chip. I told you, if you've eaten the Popeyes chicken sandwich, I personally want to know, and I want to keep it bae from you, because they probably going to put the switch on, and y'all going to be lit up, dancing on the rooftop while, you know, the apocalypse is going like this. While, you know, rain of chemicals coming down on you. You're going to be like this. During the apocalypse, you're going to be so out of it, so GMO'd up, that you won't even know that the apocalypse is coming. Y'all going to be, It is very sad. You should be ashamed. What? Stop sending me those videos. I don't want to see another fight. They beat the guy grabbed the woman's tray because she had the last chicken sandwich, and then he grabbed her sandwich and hit her over the head with the tray. What's wrong with the? Listen, take your inoculation. Your matrix inoculations is free for those in higher consciousness. Make sure before you leave this video, you put a like on the video, and you too will have an inoculation that will supersede your frequency to be engaging with these madness in this matrix. It's very, very sick. It's very sick. I make jokes about it because I think that's crazy. And we talked about it. What would make people want to fight over a genetically homogenized chicken sandwich? Because they're drinking malt liquor, and they're drinking chicken, and they're eating chicken sandwiches. This is even Gayle King. What? Well, I told you I saw her at the cloning facility, right? I told you that, right? Which Gayle King was it? Let me stop, because let me go back to my other conversation. Yeah. No, it's a shame, and yes, it has to do with urban people, brown people, and it's showing such a disgusting light, because all the brown people I know in my world are doing yoni steams, they're meditating, doing comedic yoga, they're juicing, they're sea salting up, they're hydrated. That's all the people I know that are coming from a certain field are healthy. I haven't seen those crazy type of behaviors since what is it, Rodney King days. You know what I mean? Kind of like that nano chicken. Thank you, Regulus. It's really sad. Stop sending the videos, please. You can steam while you're nursing, mommy. Yeah, you can. You can yoni steam. It's okay for you to yoni steam when you're nursing because it doesn't impede on your milk. Only thing I say is fasting isn't healthy. Don't fast when you're doing a cleanse, super duper cleanse when you're nursing, because it will leach out in your milk. Okay, so just, eat very healthy with the baby. You can yoni steam. It's very good for you too, especially a lot of times in Asian cultures and in some African cultures, I know my native women still do it. We sit on a pot of herbs right after the baby's born. So we sit on the pot, and they don't call it yoni steaming. So even in my culture, they don't call it yoni steaming. They steam. We call it, I shouldn't teach you the Creole word or the French word for this, fufun. We call fufun. I think Haitians also say it. We say fufun. You kind of steam that. So it's very helpful. It helps to also make the womb go back to its size. Okay? So it's it's very good for you. So just, if you get a chance, if you've already given the pum pum, Empress, you got our Western crew. Yeah, it's very good if you do that. Fleur, the ingredient list of chicken contains aluminum and sulfate. What? What chicken is that? Yashra said, Ahmed said, Fleur, the ingredient list of the chicken contains aluminum and sulfate. See, family, they couldn't get you with the vegans, so now they're going through Popeye's chicken. They trying to get the meat eaters too. See, I told you it was an equal opportunist of infiltration. You didn't believe me. When I told you years ago the chicken was the devil, y'all said I went too far. I remember being on a feed. Someone invited me on the show. I'm not gonna tell you who it was. It was funny though, because people did agree. They invited me on a show, and I said that the theme was chicken is the devil. And I didn't mean chickens in itself. The animals themselves are very sweet. Actually, I've raised chicks before. They're beautiful. They're very smart. They're very loving. They have great memories. We're not talking about chickens as beings. I'm not saying that. But the chickens that are being reared for consumption, mass consumption, are homogenized. And they are purposefully put. Look at the neighborhoods where chicken is most propagated. In Latin America countries, always arroz con pollo. Pueden con pollo, pollo, right? And then you have in poulet in French, poulages, right? And poule, right? You have poule. Then you have chicken, fried rice, in Asian culture. They promote this chicken. What kind of chicken do you think you're getting? You're not getting the wild chicken when you go to Hawaii. Big it to our family in Hawaii. A big aloha to our family in Hawaii. In Hawaii, I tell you, I have beautiful pictures of my baby when she was very little, my first. And we're feeding the chickens. They come every morning to our little hut, and they would come every morning, and they would come and we'd feed them, and the mothers would come with a line of her chicks. It was so cute. It's very cute. They're brown, beautiful chickens, different color browns. They're beautiful. So you love chickens. They're very sweet, but just be careful to mess with the genetically homogenized chicken. That you shouldn't even mess with chicken. And people used to get in fights with me saying that pork, what's pork for you guys? So, you guys call it sow? What's it called? I always know the words in all the languages. So sow in the American term, right? What is it called for? Yeah, sow for us in French. For you guys in Spanish, I think it's called baleen. That you used to complain that pig was highly parasitic. Now, there's a lot of reasons you shouldn't eat pig at all, but number one is that not only is the pig, parasitic, it's mixed and cloned. Unless it looks like it's Boer family member, it's cloned. There's no pink pigs in the wild. Let me just give you, there's no hairless pigs, pink pigs in the wild. Tell me an island, Boa, Samoa, places where Boers, where have you ever seen a pink pig? Okay, because they've mixed it with human. That's why the human heart, the heart for a pig can be replaced in a human body. Because that's why the Muslims are so big on that, because they realize that it's been homogenized and also geoengineered with human DNA. Okay, that's a fact. I can give you lab work on that. See, this is when I'm a researcher all day. Okay, but chickens are just as parasitic as pigs. So what's interesting in that, I had a vegan family that started to implement some chicken with their children. And once they stopped going vegan and they implemented chicken with the children, you know what the children got right away, right? Pinworms. Someone sent me the video of the Popeyes chicken, and it was worms all in there, all kinds of worms. Those weren't just pinworms, those were secular worms, things like that. Chicken and pigs have the most parasites. Birds have more parasites than pigs. Birds, because the nature of the bird and its endocrine system, and also, do you remember, birds eat insects. When you go out, and many of you who raised chickens before and birds, you know that they eat grubs. They eat bugs, right? Okay, so I'm just saying, I shouldn't be sharing things that you should know. These are things you should know already, family. And that's why I say, I don't say chickens are bad as far as their consciousness or how they should be treated. I mean, if you see the videos of them smashing little baby chicks in a machine to make chicken nuggets, it would make you never want to eat chicken again. How do you kill babies like that? How do you kill the little babies like that? Everyone wants to go to Easter and see these cute little chickadees, and then you see them on a mass machine, these little babies, and they're smashing them. That shouldn't be okay with you. That shouldn't be okay. I'm not an advocacy for extremes, but when you see what they do to these poor little babies, and this is why this planet is infectious, because the old system that has had these diabolical patriarchy, because women aren't doing this. Listen, women may be participating it based on their sick males that they're aligned with, but there aren't women going to countries deforesting. I haven't seen a women's company go to another country, destabilize it, take over, rape the children and women. Oh, thank Karen. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it, Mama. Thank you. I haven't seen that. Have you? Tell me a company of women that are female-based that have gone to another country and destabilized, raped the women, and also killed the children, or started to utilize the children for sexual slavery. It hasn't happened. That is mostly associated with patriarchal systems, corporations. Okay, so we have to start to realize that when we're collapsing in this timeline, we're starting to see the cream rise to the top, and you're starting to see all the other stuff fall to the bottom. It isn't that you should judge people or things. It's for you to observe it and keep it moving. To keep it moving. So, and many people ask me all the time, what should you eat? It isn't a matter of what you should eat, it's how you should eat. You should always be conscientious of the things that you consume, because remember, you are what you eat, and that's a literal term. It's literal. And it's necessary for if you consume flesh or veggies, that you are still conscientious of the life force that has been diminished for your own consumption. You always give honor. So that's why people used to pray over their food, because it's honoring the animals that lives have been taken for nourishment and for the family. The same for plants, for the lives that have been given and taken for the consumption and for the nourishment of the family. It's very necessary for you to do the same. And I know there were a lot of vegans had a problem with me just denoting the life of plants. See, I'm a farmer, and I can literally say that because I grew and grow. I grew when my babies were little. I was living on a farm. Many of you know because you're from my Facebook and you know me for years. Living on a farm, pregnant. I raised 70 to 80% of my own food. I can grow anything from anything. My babies are those seeds. I grew them as a mother. I still have my babies that I brought from me from Pennsylvania that I grew as lemon trees. They're right outside. You've seen them on my feed. I love them. When one died, I cried. I take much consideration of life. When you sow seeds, you can't hurt them and feel okay about it. Okay? Unless you're non-human. Some people are just cold like that. I don't pull my roots of my plants to eat them. So you won't see me making rutabagas and carrots. I don't do that because you have to murder them in order to consume them. That's why I'm a fan of being a fruitarian or a flexitarian, because I feel it's more cohesive and it's more in alignment with divinity, with divine states of being. I feel like from picking from a vine of a tree, a beautiful fruit that takes the energy from the sun and is filtered with the water from the soil of the land, and you consuming that, and then you distributing the seed, taking the seed out and composting it. I think that's goddess-like. I can rock with fruitarians. I can. And people are like, oh, it's too much sugar. Is it really? It depends on the fruit that you eat. The American USD has created homogenized fruits in this country that are sweet. We didn't have fruits that were that sweet before. In my island and also in Brazil, the fruits are bitter, and bitters kill parasites. That's why you give your baby bitters, okay? Many of you mommies know this. You give bitters to kill parasites. Our mangoes are not sweet. They have a bitter sweetness. Pineapples, even the bananas aren't sweet. And bananas used to have seeds in them. All the bananas that you guys are consuming that they say are organic, it's a lie. Because I come from a time, I could take a picture of the bananas when we were little. I remember trying to take out the seeds when I was a little girl. They don't have seeds anymore in your bananas. And they're potted fruit. They're potted fruit. They grow in shoots. Do you know why? Because they made them sterile. Thank you, Alyssa. They made them sterile. They're clones. And you're consuming them thinking they're the organic. Anything that does not bear life is not organic. Let me state that again. Anything that isn't of life isn't sterile. Anything that is unable to replicate itself isn't something that you should put in your body. That's just it. I know that I could have a food. I've done lectures in schools. I've done lectures in churches. I know this is my other life. Some of the people on here are actually from churches where I used to speak to brown churches, and I think I'm still on the church channel. I know I'm all over the place. I actually did nutritional lectures about consumption of different things for children of youth, especially children of color or people who are more challenged monetary wise. I donate my time. So it's very important for you to consume things that have seeds, okay? Because if you want to be seedless, keep consuming things that are seedless. I'm itchy. I went off the tangent, everyone. Please put a like on the video if this is okay with you. Yeah, the black seed. Oh, I'm itchy. Oh, really. I got itches. Probably from talking about GMO foods. You talk about GMO foods, you get itchy. I could talk about this all day, and it isn't criticism, because let me speak this before every vegan comes. I could stand toe to toe. They're scared of me after I'm done. But I want to say this. I know some of the most amazing, compassionate vegans in the world. As I told you before, I've known some that died based on being years of being depreciated, and also consuming foods that no longer have any more nutritional staple based on leached soil. Okay, but I know some of the most amazing vegans, and they aren't from the wave. I'm itching my back. They aren't from the wave. Okay, these are beings who basically joined veganism for compassion to animals. They were tired of farming. I am pro hunting if you are for the consumption of a family. I am con mass farming. I think it's abusive, and I think it's wrong. If you consume flesh, you should be able to hunt for the meal that you consume. And it should be how you need for your family, not everyone's family, okay? So it's my opinion. I think it's very heinous to, I think they threw my feet off. I just ripped. I'm itching. Yeah, it's my opinion. I joined when I was a young girl, and I think I told the story, and I'm not going to go on because we're going to go into inoculation in the matrix, but I really, as a young girl, 15, and it was probably younger than that. My mom said it was like 12, but I remember specifically 15. So my mom gives me more credit, but I really, it was at 15. Me and my friends, because my mother was a teacher, and my mom's best friend, her son was a teacher, his mom was a teacher, and we were really close friends. Big up to Jason. Jason and I used to walk through New York City together, and we used to talk about how we were going to change the world. And our way of being the change we wanted to see, we made a decision to be vegans. Listen, this wasn't a time where people were vegan, mind you. This wasn't a time. I was 15. This was a world of me. I was a Caribbean woman. We were big with a lot of fruits, but I wasn't getting any nutrition. I got very, very sick. Okay, Jason got sick, but he was okay. He was okay consuming soy. I'm allergic to soy. So he would have soy and things like that. And just to let you know, Jason, years later, big up to Jason. Jason, for those who are consuming soy as males, Jason had, I forgot what it was called. I hope he doesn't mind. He talks about it publicly. And he talks about the overusage of soy and how it's causing causing males testicular issues. I forgot what he had. He caught something, and it was because of the overconsumption of soy. And Jason isn't able to have children. Okay? They try to harvest some sperm, but he's unable to have children from the overconsumption. It was actually, and he's big into research, so it was actually connected to all the soy consumption from that time. And that's why I tell you people, I'm about this life. We were vegans at 15, and this is over 30 years ago. Okay? Over 30 years ago. And this is young people making a stand. We loved animals. I wasn't going to participate. I wasn't wearing gold at the time because they were gold mining in Africa. I really was the change I wanted to see in the world. I wouldn't wear certain sneakers at the time. We really made a stand. But he got really sick, and it was from him as a male consuming only soy. I wouldn't do it at the time. So I got sick based on the fact that I didn't have enough nutrition. Like things like my skin. If you see a picture from then, can you guys hear me? I think some of you, I could probably show a picture of myself then. I lost all the color in my skin. It would probably frighten you, okay? I have a picture of myself from age 15, and I was a vegan for 6 months, and I lost all the color in my skin. My eyes started to lighten up. That's how I tell people now that's depreciation. They had to reinstitute me with, I had to take supplements. I also had to take shots. Also, they made me consume flesh. So that's when I know about halal and kosher, because I was very sad and I knew I had to consume a certain amount of beef and so on to get some nutrients. And I only would consume halal and kosher. Many of you know the story, so I don't want to go too deep into it. But I lost my skin color completely. I look like another race. Yeah. And it scared a lot of people, including my parents. So I tell you these stories not from a position of not knowing anything. See, I'm not on the trend of veganism, that the new wave. Like if people are just vegans for 6 months and so on, it's because they're on this wave. But because I've seen people die and I got so sick, and that's why I say it would frighten people to see how I looked. I still, I still feel I was a lovely girl, but I lost all my color. Okay. Soy isn't good for you at all. It's an estrogen mimicker. Even fermented soy, it's still an estrogen mimicker. Too much estrogen in your body is going to cause a toxified. You're going to get like a, what is it called? Like a, it's toxic shock. It's almost like it puts you in like a toxic state of being. So what happens is that when you get too much of a chemical and it has nowhere to start dumping it into your body, and too much of estrogen starts getting you fibroids. A lot of women getting fibroids and so on and like that. If it's not has to do with them trying to replicate themselves, depending on the gene pool they came from, it's from them consuming too much soy. And if you read the majority of your products family, you will see the majority of products have soy as part of it. Read every ingredient, and I guarantee you 90% of you're getting that's manufactured has soy in it. Okay, because it's considered, soy is like it's an emulsifier. It's used as an emulsifier. Also, it's used as as a retardant. Also, it causes endocrine issues. So soy and wheat, yeah. Like I had a sandwich earlier, and I normally don't do sandwiches. There's not soy in it, but my whole body goes into shock with the wheat. I can't do gluten either because the wheat is homogenized. So, yeah, and I don't say this, listen, I know a lot of compassionate, let me state this again, because the vegans like to say that, I know a lot of compassionate vegans who love animals, but you cannot love animals more than you love yourself. That's something wrong with you, okay? That means something sociologically is off. Self-love is the number one thing. That's godhood. That's a goddesshood. When you love yourself, you self-sustain yourself. And then when you're overfill and you're overtill, then you can protect and do for others. You can't give to others from a very depreciated situation. Okay, so if you're giving your substance and living in depreciation to help animals, you are violating the first rule of self-preservation, and you are mentally ill according to standards. Okay, it's necessary. You don't have to go and eat meat every day. I'm not telling people to be fleshitarians. I'm just saying you have to be more mindful, okay? So we were getting into that. What was I went on like a rampage. And for all those who are listen, I'm okay with veganism for sprints of time. And for those who are becoming vegans for short periods of time, do your sea moss if you can tolerate it. Some people don't have tolerance for it. We grew up on this in the Caribbean. This is like a staple because we're mermaids. Big up to the Caribs and the Arawaks and the Tainos. We're mixed with those beautiful mer people. But it's very necessary for you to get your sea moss. It has trace minerals. It's wonderful. So I always tell people it tastes really yummy. If you like shakes and stuff, we grow up on this. This became a fad now in the United States. But we used to grow up on this. We used to drink this all the time. But the men in Jamaica and so on, the West Indians like to put rum in here. They like to make sea moss and put rum in here. So there's a lot of different things. So, it's interesting, but they'll make a rum with this, or they'll make saraseed, which is like a thing to clean your blood out. Yeah. Pablo, right, Rohan? Because the West Indians do it. They put rum in it for parties and so on. I have my little one here. Okay, so I went up the deep end. I'm sorry. You grew up on sea moss. It's so good for you. And this is good for the mommies. Oh, another thing for the mommies. Some of the mommies had contacted me about some of the babies are having problems. And if you're unable to nurse, one of the things I say, and I recommended, I forgot to put it in my, I don't know if I put it on my IG. I know it's on my Facebook. For those who are mommies and new mommies who are nursing or having issues nursing, and you want to substitute, stay away from soy, away from any of the things governmental, what is it called? Similac, what's the other one? Infamil. Those are toxins. They're genetically homogenized, and your child may show up with all these weird kind of allergies, okay? So one thing that's nice that Caribbean people do, especially mothers who have to go to work, they do this. They do, you make sea moss for the baby. Now, test it first because not all babies' endocrine system, not all babies can digest sea moss. It depends on your lineage. So take a little bit of this. Mummies make this. Don't put too much, cinnamon in it because babies are very sensitive and it's a newborn. So this will give the similar to this, almost the same, not to the point of it's perfect. And if you want to add a little hemp milk, that's also an alternative. Hemp milk is also an alternative to add to the sea moss to give to the baby as an alternative. You don't want to give them sea moss every day, but this is very nice. Or you can also do hemp, which is a nice, but sea moss gives a little more texture so it fills their bellies a little bit. Okay, so that's just a recommendation for myself. But again, test it for those mothers who are have newborns. Do a little bit first to see the tolerance. Make sure you do testing. Make sure their skin is not whelping up. Make sure the throat is not getting tight because some children are very sensitive to things that come from the sea. They may not do well with sea moss or with, things like sushi that has, seaweed and things like that. So just be careful. Goat's milk, people do goat's milk. Raw goat's milk is also an alternative, okay? Cow milk, you want to stay away from cow milk. You see how big a cow is? That's how that cow's mother's milk is good for a cow's baby. So that too much of that fat in that milk isn't good for your children. Aw, thank you, Mary New. Goat milk is the closest to human milk. The sodium content is super low like our milk. Thank you, Mary New gave good information here. Goat milk. They make a lot of goat milk stuff too. Okay? Wonderful. And also for those mommies who have sensitive skin, remember ghee is something I use during my fast. Goat ghee for the skin. For the little babies, make sure you aren't putting petroleum jelly on your babies. And all the males just jumped off the feed like, oh, she's going into babies again. Make sure you aren't using petroleum jelly because I told you it's connected to the sentient goo, the black goo. You shouldn't be any petroleum on your belly. They make, I think I showed you on my Instagram. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see. It's a wonderful, it's non-petroleum. It's a wonderful gel. It's really nice and slick. You can use it or you can use ghee. Okay, goat ghee for protection on the skin. Really nice. Black seed oil is wonderful, but it dries out the skin. So I love black seed oil. You can add a little black seed oil to the baby's milk, a little hemp milk or goat's milk or a little bit of the sea moss. All right. So I think I went off. So anyway, Saturn, let me go back on topic. I love the sea moss. I bought this yesterday. So good. So like I said before, I was noticing that on social media, many people were going into their own corners. So corner to corner, I started seeing all the love and light community that is, down for the upholding of, Mother Tiamat, the stewardesses of Earth. I see them all collecting together. Then I start to see those who are part of the conscious community that are very dark, that like to talk about people, that are mean to people's children, putting people's information, their children's addresses. And do you ever heard that? Do you guys hear that? And let me ask my lunar family. Can I ask you my lunar family? Because I think this is very sad. My lunar family in the love and light community, do you see people do something called doxing? Do they put people's addresses and their children's information on internet so people can go and attack them? Because this is really sad in the pseudo-conscious community. There are like a bunch of savages in the pseudo-conscious community. They're giving out people's addresses. You've seen that? They're giving out people's addresses, children's schools. You've never seen that, Hayden? Thank goodness. I haven't ever seen, it is heinous. Like, where are the protection of the babies? Listen, family, I think if you don't like someone, and you wonder why Fleurbrun keeps her children off of social media, why you won't see my children other on my personal page with my family. Why? Because of people doing things like that. That's so nasty. Those are savages and those are monsters, and they're going to Santa has a gift for them. Santa does. Someone's going to get a drive-by from Santa Claus for doing things like that. That is absolutely heinous. You don't do that to people's families. You just don't do that. It's called doxing. I didn't know what it was until I kept hearing the word. Just like you taught me thottery. I didn't know what thottery was until y'all beautiful millennials taught me that. I know you regret it. It's like teaching your auntie some new word, because I used to teach my dad words. Like back in the days we say word. say word. We used to say that. So my dad learned it, he'd be like, words. Daddy, it's not plural. It's one. Yeah, doxing, right? There's a thing called doxing, and these people on the internet are taking people's addresses and giving them out to others, and someone's getting packages to their house. Their babies they got young children in the house. What kind of monsters do this? You're going to go to the dark area of the earth where you won't be, you're going to come back in this recycling thing, because that's evil. If something happens to that woman's children or child or her based on you giving out her address, and karma is going to wreck your whole life. It will wreck it. It's absolutely disgusting. And many of you need to really check people who do things like that. You should not support channels who are big in, what is it called, doxing? Any channel who is talking about people's children, taking pictures of people's children and criticizing them and talking about them. And listen, you don't have to like someone all day. It isn't about liking anyone. Listen, I could say all kinds of things. That's me. But when you bring up someone's children as opposed to talking about even crazy Tommy Seymour, you heard that thing? Tommy Seymour, even him. And I'm not a fan of Tommy Seymour at all. I'm actually zero supportive of that man. But when he played, there was a video he had ripped Ashe Divine a new tail feather, which was absolutely horrific. Listen, I don't have to agree with anything that anyone does. It's just disgusting. And then Young Pharaoh went on there, and he played for Young Pharaoh this man online says he's going to do to his daughter. Did you hear about this? That man said he was going to murder his daughter, said he was going to rape his daughter. He wanted a whole bunch of white men to hurt his daughter. I haven't ever heard that in my life. Listen, Tommy Seymour isn't my cup of tea, but this man has a child, and one thing is I'm a protector of the children beyond what their parents will do. There isn't any reason that a grown man needs to make a whole video talking about raping, sending white males to rape his child, hoping she gets hit by a car. I was mortified, and I don't like Tommy Seymour. Let me state this: you don't have to like someone to know what's righteous. I wouldn't want that on my worst enemy. Who says something like that? That's what, okay, let me do my PR. I hope everyone had their Matrix inoculations. Everyone has their Matrix inoculations, because that's crazy. When it is mental illness, it is. And there's a lot of that and this is where I agree that, that YouTube does put some regulations on people making threats or obsessing with people over and over and over. Yeah, just things like that. Yeah, I know people have issues. A lot of people have issues with Young Pharaoh or with Tommy Seymour, but it's beyond that. My thing is, there shouldn't be ever a platform where a man makes videos about someone raping and hurting some child, and a man is out free. He should be arrested. I think, the FD, you got helicopters coming over our feed just talking about aliens. They bother us. They shut down my channel just from telling you things to do for yourself to protect yourself just from the chemicals. But you're telling me that this man can make all kinds of videos talking about that. And what I will say is this, family, because everything is relative. When you do dirt, you get dirt. So yes, Tommy Seymour has done dirty things and talked very nasty and reckless about others. So part of his karma is someone going low blowing and doing the exact same thing to an exasperated level on his behalf. I do agree. I know that it's karma. So everything is relative. I realize that, but it was very disheartening as a woman and as a mother to hear someone talking about a child. I could care, like I said, I think he is absolutely diabolical in how he talks about women, about especially women of color, how he speaks so disfranchising about the female sex. And this is my thing to Tommy Seymour. You wouldn't get this kind of residual from this maniac talking about your beautiful daughter had you not put that kind of energy out there, because you don't know what will come back. You don't know what will come back. If you throw something out in the wind and it was poop or something nasty, don't be shocked when it hits you back in the face and it was worse than what you dealt out. So when you put something out there, you have to know that you may get something back that's worse. That's what I'm saying. I do agree that a lot of what he's experiencing with that crazy man has to do with his own behavior. And I think this way, someone says, is there any hope for Tommy Semur? There is for beings like him. He has to repent. What the Christians say? He needs to repent. He has to, just like all these diabolical people, what do? They give galas all the time. They have all these, they have all these, what are these, charities, right? All these dark, perverted Satanists are always having charities, galas, right? They do all this. You know why? Because they're trying to wipe their slate clean. What Tommy Semur needs to do to remedy this is have people like healthy women that are healthy brown women that come from healthy family dynamics and show what the change he would like to see in the world, rather than always talking about women that are dirty or diabolical and so on. He needs to show, if he has a problem with those women that are ratcheries, that's what he called them, ratchets, is it ratchets? Ratcheries, I don't know what it is. Ratchets? Yeah, ratchets. And those daughteries, he needs to have healthier people on his platform and show, okay, these are ratcheries, and these are daughteries, and these are what divine women that are healthy. These are women that are gardening every day. They have beautiful community gardens. These are grandmothers that take care of all of these beautiful children from the neighborhood to make sure all mommies who are single can take care of them. These are women that are going to rainforests and helping the destabilization. These are women that donate their time to animal shelters. These are women that are standing with their children and their family dynamics. Why doesn't he have healthy women on there? Because they exist. They're all on here. Why doesn't he have one of our C-stars? Why do you have to invite women that you already vilify? Because the people he invited, he already vilified them. He invited Shay Devine and the other girl, the other one. And he already thinks that they're disgusting. He already has his mind that they're, he called Shay all kinds of whore. He was calling all kinds of disgusting names. So he already vilified them, but he won't have women that he deems to be goddess-like. Tommy, be a little more balanced. I'm okay with a person showing the heinousness in the world, but you're going to have to be balanced and show the beauty. And that's why you're getting maniacs coming at you and trying to beat you up on the street, because you aren't doing your due diligence. Yeah, he's inhuman. No, I think he's human. Actually, I think he's human. I just think he's suffering from Stockholm syndrome or mommy issues. I think mommy didn't give him hugs. I think he wasn't loved properly. I think he wasn't told that he was cute as a little boy. I think people made him feel unworthy and unloved. And I think that's what happens when you don't love your little boys. And that's why on this platform, we really promote loving our boys, loving our sons, telling our sons how special and wonderful they are, giving them the first hugs, being this first role model in their lives of women, so they uphold themselves to always be able to be higher in consciousness around their matriarchy. Okay? That's healthy. So we encourage that on our family, for all of us to engage in a way with our families and children, so that we actually are the first standard of higher influence over them that will allow them to feel loved and protected. That's it. So, mommy issues really, really destroy both female and males. A lot of the things we see online, I told you, with all this crazy, what is this called? Polygamy. That's mommy issues. Men who have not been loved enough by their mothers have to run through women just to prove themselves, have to feel loved. They're trying to fill a cup that's never been filled. Those are men who have been traumatized by mommies. Thank you, Pablo. I appreciate it. Women are our first master teachers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just loving self. And I say and we have, I know you guys rock as parents. I know the best abuelas on here, the best fathers and uncles. I know I had a phenomenal father myself and mother. I know some of the most amazing parents on here. So it isn't saying that this doesn't exist. That's what I'm saying with Tommy Semur getting somebody saying that about his child. It is karmically inset, because he said so many dastardly things about women and women who have children that karma universe came and says, smack, smack, smack. Look at this evil man talking about your offspring, your beautiful brown little girl. You see, he's okay to talk about brown women and disparagingly, but look what he talks about his beautiful baby. And I'm not in agreement. I don't care if he was the devil. His child should never be talked about in that way. I won't ever condone that kind of abuse of anyone's children. That is Saturn return. That's actually his drive-by. You know what? Thank you for that, Pavel. I actually think that was Tame Semior's drive-by, was talking about his little baby, his beautiful his little brown little princess like that. It was. I think that's what it is. And I've seen it come all this way for people who do dark things. There isn't anything Saturn doesn't see, family. And with the collapse, everything's exasperated. So just know, if you aren't friends with that person, like even someone we saw the other day, that was, I knew was pandering for something, money for someone, you know, I just wanted to just leave them be and just step away from them, and they were just seen for who they are. You just step away and be the best person you want to see in your life. That's it. You don't have to really mess with anyone like that. So I think I answered that question for the mommies. There was another question on, I want to answer all the Q&As, sorry, because people ask me on the emails and I can't always answer, and I don't know everything. Let me state this. Fleurbrun is not a doctor. I am not a physician. I am just a mom who is a contactee from Mount Vernon, New York, who happens to like Creole food and cherries. All right, so that's all I am. I am nothing above or below. I have zero perfection. I have always lived to the standard that I will do what I'm okay being done to me. And I'm okay with karma and coming in the way that's applicable to the actions that I've done to others, including myself. Okay, so that's the kind of world I live in. So the other question I had was, someone was asking me about the cell salts. Now, this is good. I think for the you left your Nazi. Everyone congratulate Natalie for leaving her Nazi. We congratulate you. You actually got your freedom paper. Congratulations, Natalie. Let me give you a Shanje. Congratulations, Mama. Congratulations. Listen, I don't think people realize how difficult it is for many of us to leave our husbands or spouses or people we've been for a long time, especially if it's a system where we felt like that was all we had, like keeping it together. I think every time you step away from something and put yourself first and love yourself above and beyond others, not to the degree that you're being selfish, but you're being self-aware and loving self. So I say congratulations. It's very difficult sometimes. And I want to always big up our beautiful niecetas for making the choice. It is. It's beautiful. And that means you could be twinning soon, Natalie. I look forward to hearing your twinning story. This means you're making room for your twin, Natalie. You better write your letter. Write your letter, Natalie. You're about to twin. So let me say this. Oh, I'm gonna do something inappropriate, okay? Don't go, okay, because I hide everything in my brassiere, and you know I do this, so I have to get it out. Okay, remember for our, I know I'm gonna hear everything. Remember for our twin flame act manifestation on Friday, you had the cloth. I don't think I ever talked about the cloth. Now, if you still have the cloth, remember we put the cloth, we put our oils on here, we put everything on here, pheromones, people just put their pheromones on here. If you have leftover of anything from there, the cloth, you put part of the candle. If you have any of the candle left, I have some of the candle left on here. Some of the beads are on here. And you wrap the cloth. I have a couple things, like sparkles still in here. I have a lot of sparkles, okay? You put it in here and you kind of wrap it. I didn't do it properly. You're supposed to wrap it with like a red, you can wrap it with like a red string. And you just wear this on your person, okay? This you do until the new moon. And the new moon is on the 30th, I believe. I think it's a new moon. Is a new moon in Virgo? Can someone check and see if it's a new moon in Virgo? I think it's a new moon in Virgo. So for those who still have their cloth, because a lot of people are asking me, for those who have their cloth, you know, I just put it here and I put it inside. I put it in my goodies. Look. I put it in my goodies and nobody knows. This is nice about being a busty babs. See, people talk about being a busty babs, but I can hide everything in here. Okay, so look, you can't even see. So you put your cloth wearing on your person. It's easier for us who could put in the brassiere. All women like to put, listen, money in the brassiere. You got tooth floss. Listen, I came from a family. You hide everything in your brassiere. I'm so inappropriate. My mother saw this video. She would so be upset. Did you just take your tatas in front of people? No, I didn't take my tatas out. I just showed you that. That's so crazy. But this is where you put it. Just put it on top. You could put it on side in your purse or something, but I always like to put things on my body. So just put it on top of you. Oh, you didn't have the cloth? You can still get one protected. Yeah, just you can get a cloth. It's just you put it there and then just put it inside of here. Oh, so new moon. Thank you, Hayden's got it. New moon in Virgo on the 30th. Okay, so new moon is on the 30th. So you could just wear this until, I know, Pavel, that's old school. All the aunties do this. I'm an auntie's age, so all the aunties do this. So you keep it on your person until then. And you can refresh it if you do another manifestation, if you do it. Many people are meeting the twin flames or they're meeting people out of the blue. I think after that manifestation, I had every ex call me. I had so many, I think I did a manifestation for all males. I get so many phone calls, like at 2 o'clock in the morning. Kirk was calling at 2 o'clock in the morning, asking me what I'm doing. I'm like, Kirk, you can't be calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning. Because anything after 12 is considered a booty call, right? That's at least for my generation. Males who call females or females who call males after 12 midnight, it isn't any good to it, all right? So make sure you keep this on, or you could put it on your altar. Some of you have altar, your love altar. Also, you know, you can do that. So I just kept it on myself until the new moon. Okay, so if you have your cloth, you can put in your brassiere until then, okay? So that was one of the questions. Also for those who were asking about I was talking about the cell salts, okay? I've used it now for has it been 2 weeks? I think a week and a half or 2 weeks. I don't know how long. It's almost 2 weeks. I will tell you, family, I love advertising things. I don't get in trouble for this, do I? I hope not, because I like advertise. If I like it, I'm gonna share it. I don't advertise. If I like it, I'm gonna share it. I don't care. Bioplasm. So this is the first one I chose to try because I got it highly recommended. So a couple people, I think like 5 or 6 people were inquiring about which cell salt that I recommended. What do I find is a difference? Remember, it's a very subliminal difference. It works on a micro level, so and a macro level. You can feel the difference in that it heightens your body's cellular regeneration. You can feel that. Like I feel more refreshed in the morning. I feel lack of itis. I don't get itis as often. I notice that my eyesight has improved a little bit. It's a little bit. So I really recommend this, and I give it to my niece's. I give it to my little ones, and my little ones are 12 and 10. Okay, and they seem to be doing well like that with this so far. It's very slight, but I felt like it wasn't harming them. It was kind of upping them a little bit. So if anybody wanted to try this, I really recommend empathic, so it isn't overtly bombarding your system, and it works on a macro level. Okay, so it kind of touches your system and gives you the trace minerals necessary. So pregos, all our pregnant women, I would go and make sure you ask your doctor, your OBGYN. If you're going to a holistic one, they won't have any problems with it. For anyone who has allergies or anything to it and you're pregnant, just try one because they're very tiny. So I'll show you it. So this is how tiny they are. Look how tiny that is. It's tiny. Yeah, if you're nursing, you can use it. Definitely if you're nursing, Laura. It's so tiny. So you just take it and it'll kind of melt in your mouth. Okay? It has trace salt. Very good. The little ones take it. I think it's very helpful anything to reestablish more mineral absorption in the body is really good. I got this from my local whole food store, not Whole Foods, but my local health food store. They had it. It's Highlands. I like Highlands because I just use Highlands even with my little ones for like cold stuff because it's very naturopathic. It doesn't overtly overwhelm the system. I really appreciate it. So do get this. It's called Bioplasm by Highlands. Okay, you like this? Oh, Valerie loves it. Okay, she loves it. Valerie said it's good. Highlands. Okay, so this is for the mummies and nursing mothers. We're always needing an extra boost and also making sure that because we're producing milk, we need to make sure that we're always keeping our bodies up with re-upping our system because we're feeding the baby milk. But also at the same, am I looping? Did I just loop? Am I looping? I don't know. Oh, I looped. I'm sorry. Just when I think the glitching is over. Oh, just because I'm talking about health issues, you know? Anyway, and let me explain something, okay? This is gonna be all kinds of inappropriate, but I thought it was appropriate because mostly women aren't here. Big up to all those in the house. Please put a like on the video for watching. Most of the men already left, okay? So this is mostly mommies, abuelas, and aunties on here, little girls. Okay, some of our males rock with us though. They love the information because they share it with their family members and they keep it in the archives. So listen, so you know, remember during the fast with the nano fast, I did 0 metals. I didn't do any wired bras. I was so excited because I got wireless bras. I was excited. So, you know, I was excited. I ordered some new bras. Family, don't order any more stuff from these foreign countries that are out. Listen, I ordered these wireless bras and they look totally different. I'm gonna don't do it. Look at this. This can't even fit my toe. Look at this bra. This is what they sent me, family. I can't fit it. I can't even fit in it. Look at this. It's a shame what they're doing to people out here. Look how little this is. I can't even fit in it. You said your cat could fit in it. Look at this. They sent it to, this is a lot. This is supposed to be my size. This is a shame. I can't give it to my little people because it's inappropriate. It looks so nice, Chinese sizes. It is. I didn't know where it was coming from. So look, I bought this. I can't even fit one of my, it's a crazy. So I just give you warnings. If you see any of these bras, I love the wireless bras. I just thought this was cute because it looked really nice online, right? And the woman online was busty. So she looked like a busty Babs like me, right? So I was like, yeah, I could fit, it's stretchy. No, family, this can't even fit half of my boobs. This is really sad. So anyone ordering, you know what it is because they sell them. Anytime you see them, they sell them online. Your Baron's laughing. I can't. This is a joke. I bought this one. They're going to waste. I'm not going to return it because I want to throw it in their face. And look at this one. I don't even know what this one is. You said a cat costume. Costume. I'm going to put this on the scarecrow outside. Look at this. This one's a little bigger, but look, this can't fit anything either. I had to show you this because I was shocked. I felt like, don't buy any bras anymore, guys. Doggy underwear. It's cute, but I don't even know how it goes. How's it go? It looked cute on the thing. So I showed my twin flame this brassiere. This size, that is my size. That's not my size. I don't know who's wearing this. I have a girlfriend who's an A. She would barely fit in this and she's an A. Anyway, I'm gonna give it to Kay. I think I'll give it to Kay. She'll like it. Yeah, so be careful buying these brassieres. They're cute because they're not wireless. So now wireless, now they make sure you get like triple. You said, what is a hair on it? You said it's a hairnet. I'm gonna put it like, oh, it's actually cute. Look at that. Oh, look at that, family. I'm now awake. Look at that. It's beautiful. Look at that. I can be like oh, this is actually cute. Look, family. Oh, I can wear my, oh, that is cute though. I could be like an Amish, like this. Look at that. That looks really cute. This is supposed to be a bra, okay? So I just want, spiritual goddess. Oh, thank you, Be Brave. Once, thank you. You paid, at least you paid for them. Thank you. Thank you, Be Brave. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. No, I just wanted to give a warning. Hey, Brown Brujita. Don't get these, okay? Little Miss Muffet, Saturn or Tuffet, eating her curds and waves. So I told my girlfriend I have to give you guys a warning. If you're buying these little bralettes and these girls look like they're your size, it's a lie. Go into Melinda Sidner. They're cute, but they don't fit. So I just want to put that out there because I think I wasn't the only one who bought it. It was a couple of us who bought it. They always say it's stretchy. No, this isn't stretch. I showed my twin flame this, and he thought it was cute. He was like, put it on. I was like, I ain't putting it on. What's the point of it even put? Because men, what's the point of me even putting it on? I might as well just leave it off. It's not gonna, I'm working with like the overhaul of breasts. He said, put it on. I like it. I'm sure you do. Yeah, the sizes are not, yeah, but it's abusive. Because you buy these things, oh, this is my point. So be careful buying these things online. Why I put this is that I think China or whoever these distributors are coming from, they're scamming people. And you're buying these things that are not even sizable, they're not even healthy, and they're not even fittable. So I'm a fan of wireless bras. I know everybody, this gonna be, they'd be like, Fleurbrun was putting hats on her head. She was putting bras on her head. This is cute as a little hat. Like I said, I'm probably going to give it to my girlfriend who's, I think she could fit in if she's an A. But I'm just saying, this is a warning for those who are trying to do their best to do wireless. There's way better wireless bras. I'll give recommendations of the ones I like. But definitely don't get these little bralettes, especially if you're bestie babs. If you're anything C or above, you won't be able to wear any of these. Because even though they show the women online, there's a different bra. Because the women online was just as busty as me wearing that, and it looked beautiful. And apparently it was a lie. So just make sure that don't buy any more of these bras and don't support these companies who keep, because this is really a waste. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I spend a lot of money, but you know, you buy things like this. Oh, Rihanna came out with a wireless bra. Well, it's about time. I'm gonna check it out, Kay. If you have the connect or the link to it, could you link it in the box so we could check? Yeah, they Photoshop. Because I was like, there's no way that bra, you got rid of your bras with wires a long time ago. You're 32C. You have your own set of issues. Yeah, it's crazy because it's not saying that I like comfort, but I'm saying it's already abusive that they make us wear bras. Because I was telling people, we don't want to wear bras. That is a male system. I think males created bras to abuse our breasts. I do, because there isn't, I know zero people who don't run home to take off their bras. I know women who work all day and their only goal and excitement coming home is taking off their brassiere. It's too much going on there. You were scammed out a $70 dress last year, came from a foreign site. You forgot the name. I think it's put in the comments. Please put it in the comments. We need to stop supporting these companies that are utilizing our money. This is part of the matrix scams. We really have to start supporting companies that we know do well for us, because bras are abusive. I really should make a whole video on that, on the abuse. I think there's like Satanists who created bras, like they want to encage the breasts, okay? And also realize that bras create sagging, okay? Free the tetas, right, Diana? Because bras create sagging. Women in other countries before childbirth and even after childbirth have nice loft to their breasts. If you're wearing bras all the time, Hayden's upset. Hayden's laughing. Our males are on here like it's going left. You know, a lot of times what happens, it creates sagging. Breasts that are left and allow its muscle, because you have muscles underneath your breast. If you make your muscles lazy, then it will make your breast sag, okay? I know it's going to gross people out, but my my grandma will be 103. Big up to my granny. Many of you saw her. My 103-year-old granny wasn't wearing bras, like, well, she's French too. You know, French women, yeah. Sometimes Creole women can be a little saucy, but she didn't wear bras like that. My grandmother's, you know, size, the way it looks, is healthy. And she's 102. Just imagine. Thank you, Kay. Wait, can I pin that? I can't pin anything in here, right? Oh, I can't pin it here. Hold on. Okay, guys, Kay already put this site for the bra. It's called Savage. Is it called Savage? Oh, perfect. Wireless bras. All I want to do is, we need to stop supporting companies that are not supporting us, and for women that are for healthiness. We are now on home court advantage. Thank you so much, Kay. Kay, big up to Kay who put it in here. It's very necessary for us to start to support companies that are more cohesive for us health-wise. Because a lot of times, you know, they get away with stuff like this because they know you'll buy it online. And I'm not going to take, who am I returning this to? I want to go like this. I'm going to throw it at who am I going to return it to? So, you know what I mean? We buy these things online, and they know that once we buy it, even if we don't like it, we're not going to return it. So thank you, Kay. You know, start buying more wireless bras. It isn't healthy for us to start burning I want to burn all the old bras. I have all these beautiful bras that are still sitting in the closet. You know, I have like a little lingerie thing. I won't touch them because we're being radiated with the wires. All this 5G, all these transmissions coming in, where do you think they're going? They're going underneath your breasts, and they're radiating your breasts, causing all kinds of health issues. So it's very necessary for you to support other women. So don't just let this information sit here. Extend it to your mother, your grandmother, your cousins, your sisters, your daughters. Extend it to them. And for our males, extend it to your family, because it's necessary for us to share this. A lot of times they get away with things because we're not collectively speaking to one another. And that's why I love that we have a wonderful commune where we kind of exchange that. So Kate just gave us a resource. Get some wireless bras, and try not to wear them as much. If you're home, be braless. Clothing optional should be in your house, should be your safe zone where you aren't wearing clothing. Clothing is another diabolical, don't give me it, because then I'll say I'm a thottery. You don't have to be a thottery not to call it clothes. Clothes is another thing. A lot of our health issues is because we're not getting a lot of sun full on, what is that? Another thing, you ever notice there's been tons of alarms? They did did you see they have alarms everywhere now? I noticed they had they have all the children in the different schools doing all these drills. I know they do drills in school, but they're doing extra drills. That's another thing I want to discuss. Okay, so this is sidebar for everyone. I started the video on point, but I'm answering questions and also adding things of information of interest. So I've noticed there's been a lot of alarms lately, and they're getting children ready in the schools for something going down, family. So this letting you know, shooting drills, right, Natalie? Let's do this, family, because we got a lot of mommies on here, and some of you have your children in instructions or daycares. I want you to hatch out a plan with your little people that in case of emergency, that you have a special place for them to go, that you will come and get them. We were made aware in the Intellis community that they were going to have FEMA buses come and get the children and bring them into installations like Walmarts and things like that. FEMA camps, the quote unquote, the cover up FEMA camps, right? So I want all of you to be prepared, because we know the full on, if you're down with me, you already know I prepare for the pole shift. We discussed this more than not. I want you to hatch out a plan for your little people so that they know that in case of emergency, and I also need you mommies and daddies and uncles and abuelas to time how much time it takes for you to get their school to their schools. So what I'm saying is, if you live, I'm close to the instructions of my little ones, they're right down here. Literally, I could walk 2 minutes and I would be there. So driving, it takes me less than 2 minutes to get there. I know that in case of an emergency, I told my little one, they aren't to get on any buses. They are waiting for mommy to come immediately. And I told them a specific part of school to wait for me so that I come to them. The only time that they have to go with the instructors is if there's a fire on site, or there is some other emergency that disallows for them to wait for me, okay? It's very necessary for you to do that, because when they take your children somewhere else, it won't always be places where it's safe. You know more for the safety of your children. You have more vested for the safety of your children than otherwise. So for those who are mommies, I suggest if you don't have a watch, I don't like wearing the technology on them, but if you have an iWatch, do you notice they banned it? Oh, I have to mention it as well. They banned the iWatches for the little ones. Did you hear about that? So the iWatches, hey baby, the iWatches were banned from the little ones to wear in school, which I thought was disgusting. So what is interesting about that is I think that they purposefully did that, because why would an iWatch, I know children get distracted, but why would an iWatch bother them? So this is my thing. If you have little ones that are, kindergarten and so on, if you can do a walkie-talkie that's 10 miles, as long as you're within 10-mile range, put a walkie in their bag. Teach them how to walkie-talkie. The kids from our neighborhood were using walkie-talkies. When they go and play outside, their parents were calling them on walkie-talkies. It was kind of cute. And you should have walkie-talkies all ready for the pole shift, okay? So I would get the family, there's one online that you can get like a set of three, the set of three, so 2, 4, 6, 6 of them. Have a walkie in their bag, put it to the station, that have it already connected, so that if they're close to you, within a 10-mile radius, make sure it's a 10-mile radius walkie, that they can turn on the walkie and contact you immediately. They don't have to use the cell phone towers, which sometimes get knocked out. Usually the walkies will work without cell towers, okay? Usually they don't require that. So for all mommies, abuelas, uncles, daddies, grandpas, it's very important for you to hatch out a plan for the little ones if they're in school. If you have more than one and they're in different placements of schools, you have to hatch out a plan and time frame where you can get to them, okay? And also let them know that wherever they're taken, if in worst case scenario that they're taken, make sure that they put a, sometimes you guys have a LoJack on your children. Make sure they put that on you and you have a LoJack to them on their phones or someone so you can always find where they are, okay? And I've already suggested to you as a mother, father, grandmother, whatever, have howlers. Howlers allow you to hear your children over crowds. I already suggested it 50 million times. Howlers are very, very important to have, especially when they're little and you lose them. Even if you're with them and you lose their hand in a crowd, we go to a lot of places, we've traveled a lot of places, howlers are great. You can get a howlers at Dick's or at another camping site. Howlers are whistles that go higher, they go so high that it goes over crowd. They're called crowd buster whistles. Okay, so get a howler. Is it scary? I don't want to scare you. Protected. Oh, your name is Protected. How interesting is that? It isn't scared. It's being prepared. Preparedness is being prepared. And if you're here listening to it, means that there's a reason for it. I always feel like you get the information you need at the time you need it. So for that reason, it's good for you to know so that you'll implement things for safety. It's just like having a fire extinguisher in your house. You wouldn't say that having a fire extinguisher is wrong because it would always keep the motivation that there would be a fire. It's saying that, well, in case there is, it's always good to have a fire extinguisher so you can emit the danger as quickly as possible. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm scaring you a little bit. It isn't my intent. Just make sure. So I always say the walkie-talkies are good. Parents, a howler is really good, and also have a name tag with your child with the howler. So with my little ones, I know many of you saw this on Patreon already. If you're on my Patreon page, I go through prepper. You know, I was a prepper for over 15, now it's over 15 years. Might be longer. I've been a prepper for over 15 years. If you have a chance, if you're on my Patreon, you already saw it, but I'll just reiterate it. A howler with their names and phone numbers written out is helpful for your little people. So if you have a little one in kindergarten or preschool, and it's always good because they're so little, they don't remember their phone numbers or their addresses, it's good for you to put a little waterproof little card with the howler on their neck. So they can put it on, it's in their backpack, and if something saucy happens, then they can go in their backpack, they know to put their little chain on, their little necklace on. And on the necklace has mommy and daddy's address and phone number written out. It has where they live. It has where grandmother's numbers are and things like that. So that way, in case they get lost and someone finds them or something goes on, they know exactly how to call the parents or to contact the children, or the children, this way they can be actually located quicker. Same with your dogs, the dogs and cats and things like that. So we do the same with our dogs and cats. But your children right now are the most precious thing. They are an extension of you, and it's very necessary for you to just keep them protected. That's all. It's just like a mommy making sure I have a raincoat or a pouch, a little poncho in case it rains. It wouldn't say it would be scary. Am I scared that it's going to rain? Not necessarily, but it means that I'm prepared for if it rains, so I have an extra measure of protection in case it rains. That's all. Just make sure you watch the little ones. I always want to put that out there for preppers. For mommies and daddies, it's just necessary. And howlers is not something most people hear about. I'm a prepper. So you'll hear this from a mommy who's a prepper, and this may not be something men will tell other men because it's not on their minds. Children for them are different how they see protection to them. A mommy will tell you from the protection of a mother who has young children, who's more concerned about making sure her little ones are safe than anything else. Okay? Is a howler a fallen, I can't get up thing? No, a howler's a whistle. It's just a whistle. It's a high-pitched whistle. Just like when you get deer whistles, many of you who go camping and so on know about the deer whistles that keep deer away. I used to have those on my car for driving in the woods in Pennsylvania at nighttime, so that the deer would hear it and wouldn't go in the road. I'm just an animal person. I'm a nature person, so I know a lot of these weird things that probably are like, you guys are like, she knows too much about these alternate things. I just know these things. It's a little whistle. It's usually orange. Sometimes comes in other colors. It's high pitch. It's a crowd whistler. So if it's not called it's called howler, the ones I have for my little ones, but it could be called a crowd whistler. So you can hear your little ones or your spouse or yourself. Okay, maybe you want to find your mate or yourself. You can blow your howler and they can find you quicker. Okay, because a crowd of people, you know, in New Orleans, had we had some of these basic things that you just have in your house or in your bug out bag, a lot of things wouldn't happen as heinously. And most heinous things, to be honest, family, happen to children and women. I'm being honest. I'm not saying males aren't affected, but most of the things that happen in situations that are piloted or in crisis situations will impede on women and children's lives quicker than males. So my righteousness tells me to extend to my sisters and their children and their grandchildren so that you are safe as well. Okay? They are small handhelds would scare anyone. Oh yeah, also the blowers. Those big. I have those blowers. They took my horn in Brazil. I was so pissed off. They let me go into Brazil with my horn, and during the second search, I should have put it in my check bag. They took my horn. You know that high pitched horn? I carried it with me in Brazil because I was staying in the jungle. Many of you saw me in the jungle. I was staying in the middle of the jungle, family. So I had a high-pitched horn that I kept there just in case of emergencies because you could hear it outside of where I lived, outside of the jungle. And there were other people's houses outside of that. So that's why when I talked about Brazil, I was talking from personal being in Brazil in the jungle. I lived in the jungle. The house that many of you saw me in was in the middle of the jungle. A few years ago, myself and a few saw your children being taken in a bus, a huge bus. They were placed inside a glass cage. The little ones showed no emotions. Just, if you see things like that. Also, yeah, I told everyone to get their passports. Not out of fear. Just, listen, and a couple people found that disconcerting. Oh, it's raining outside. I just noticed it was raining. A lot of people found that disconcerting that I mentioned to get passports and why that was necessary. I'm a preparedness type of chick. I am. I always know that I prefer to have options rather than zero options. So in my world, if something breaks out in the country I'm living in, it's raining there too, Natalie? Where are you? If something pops in your country, it's always nice to know that you can go to Canada until everything smokes clear. If you don't have a passport, you won't be allowed to go out of the country, especially in impending situations. They will take those who have passports. And if you notice, most of the wealthiest people have passports. I noticed that isn't something that's advocated. I am advocating to you to have a passport. I just took my mom yesterday because you should make an appointment to go get your passports done. You can take your pictures. See, I'm a practical kind of mommy, and I'm a daughter to my mother. So my mom always had her passport. My dad used to be the one who renewed their passports. My dad passed away, so my mom's not used to doing it. So I renewed her passport. If you get a passport, you usually have to make an appointment at the passport office if you don't do this already. Now, if you do that, make sure you have your own pictures because they'll charge you more. You can go to CVS or Rite Aid or Walgreens and they'll take a passport pictures that are appropriate for passports. Make sure you aren't wearing glasses, your hair is behind your ears, and it's only $13. As opposed to going to the post office or wherever they do passports, and it's $20-something. Now for little ones who actually are traveling with mothers without fathers or fathers without mothers, you should already know in order to get a passport, you need the permission of the other parent, unless you've had a divorce decree that you have the primary and sole custody of the child. If you have problems, and we already spoke about this, I always tell the mothers who are single mothers who don't have the father in the child's life regularly, be a little sweet, be a little kind, and ask for him to give you a written and a notarized letter saying that he gives you permission to get a passport and take your child out of the country. Make sure you get both because you require them if you're leaving the country. So a notarized letter is he gives permission or she gives permission for their child to get a passport and leave the country for leaving the country. And also a second notarized letter that usually has a form. It's called a U.S. I had it somewhere. It's a form that states, I think I have it. Do I have it? Hold on. I'm not going to get it now. If I do a video on that, I don't want to take too much time on that. But Also, a notarized letter, it's a form you fill out. You can do the notarization online, family. So if the guy doesn't live in your town and you want him to notarize something, he's poking at you and he's delaying it, you can do it online. There's actually notarization that you can do online. You get the app and somebody calls you and does a Skype. So I did this before I went to Brazil. I had a couple things I had to do before I go to Brazil. So just know that you can get the actual Skype notarization. So if the gentleman who's the father or the mother does not live in state or they live outside the country, you can get a notarization via Skype online. You get the app. It's a Skype app. Let me give you the app so you know what it is. I like to give you all the goodies. You say, how does Fleurbrun know all this? Because I'm about this life. Hold on, let me give you that information. Hold on. I have so many apps on my phone. I have a disaster app. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Notarization app. So this is the app. I'll show it to you. Oh, it's re-upping itself. Okay. So you get it's called a Notarize app. Put it on your phone. And this is for people who don't have their children in the same area. Okay. So just make sure you do that. And there's several companies to buy a proof of travel ticket and not really be traveling. Or you can buy a ticket with United and maybe someone else and refund according to the rules. Oh, thank you. Vera has some good advice. It cost you $340 for 3 people ports, but I got okay, good, you got the bucks. Okay, so get your passports. Make sure when you get your passport, you always have a copy of it too. And I've done the travel thing when we went to Brazil. I say we went to Brazil because it's like you guys went with. So this is a notarization. This is a notary. This is the site for notary online. What's nice about the notary online is, again, whenever I do business transactions and things like that, if you want to do business, some people buy homes and they can't notarize in person, they do it online, contractual. A lot of corporations use it. Use the notarize online for mommies or daddies who are traveling, or grandparents, because a lot of people don't realize that a lot of is anybody there? I think it might have just gone out because it's raining. Okay. A lot of people don't realize that you can go down to the courthouse, you can ask for a passport, just get your picture ID. Good. Thank you, courthouse in DC. So they're telling you how to do it. Make sure you do so before September. I'm just telling you, it's my advice because I got intel. I've shared this with you before. I got intel that they might stop instituting passports in sometimes in September, because remember something's supposed to pop off. I don't know how true it is, but it was a governmental agent, one of my intellists, who told me that. Whenever I get somebody governmental that I know is a great intellist, I take it seriously, because they were told that there won't be any more institution of passports. So that's why I got my mom's passport. So I made an appointment. They got pictures. My daughters had to re-up theirs anyway because we just went away, but I wanted to make sure theirs was long enough, because if anything pops off, I want to make sure it's for a couple of years in case they can't get it again. So make sure you do that. And if anybody has questions, talk to each other. Make sure you do that for traveling. And again, for those who found it disconcerting in me sharing why I would tell people to leave the country because it's worse outside the country, if something pops off in the States, all I say is it better to be prepared than not. I'd like an option to be able to leave in case something happens. If I can go to Canada, if I can go to France, if I can go to Brazil, if I can go somewhere, it's okay. It's wonderful to have more options. The more options you have is the more that you have more peace of mind. Okay, that's it. Worse can come out outside of the country. What happens if something happens here? And you need to dip out real quick until the smoke clears. I just give you an option, okay? And I know a lot of us are mothers. Oh, thank you, Natalie. I know a lot of us are moms and grandmothers and daddies, and I know it's important. I think I really appreciate it when I hear another mom tell me things that I didn't know, because a lot of times we travel with little people. We need to know different things. We need to know how to travel. We need to know what we need when we go abroad. I hear from other moms. It was necessary. You know, I didn't know I needed an RFD chip, the RFD sheets, when I traveled to Brazil, because they were doing electronic stealing. I didn't know that. I love when someone shares that with me. So I think that was it with that. What else? I get so many questions. I get excited when I talk about prepping. I'm about that life. I've been doing that for so long. I love it. I love learning how to sustain myself independent from anything outside myself. I love that I can filter water. I love that I have the ability to go to different arenas depending on the scenario and the type of weather. I love that I've allowed my mind to expand to a point where I feel I'm okay independently. And I'm a mother with my own children. It's me and them. Okay, I have a mate, yes, but my independence is more, what if something happens to him? Okay, so I always take in consideration my nieces are for me. That's my responsibility. So I make sure I take care of me and mine. And I always make sure that my tribe does the same. That's all. You should just be able to make your own food and water. And food is not as much as a necessity as clean water. And we always talked about charcoal. Okay? I think we talked so much. I went off on matrix. Just be mindful. There's, like I said, there's drive-bys right now, drive-bys in Saturn. And I'm noticing that a lot of people are getting karma. And good, I don't want to say bad. Karma's coming back and being instituted. And Saturn isn't even here yet. Saturn isn't even here. Okay, so interesting, I'm seeing drive-bys, and it's separating you from those pole shift. Okay, so pole shift, someone last dated, roughly pole shift is in 7. I say 6 to 7 years now. I would say 7 before. We're getting close to that 6 to 7 year mark. It's my prediction. Okay, give or take a day or two. Okay, so the pole shift isn't something. It's not an anomaly. It's what the planet does. This is a conversation you hear with somebody who's a researcher. I'm sound. The planet is already shifting. Grounds are slipping apart. Land masses in Nigeria. There's a big slit in the middle of going across the globe right now. Started in Nigeria, and it's going across. The ground is just opening up. The earth, the land masses are starting to separate again. Okay, this is just what happens. Yeah, it's a natural process of what the earth goes through. The difference is when we used to be in our native, last time we were in our native form, so we were in huts and so on. We weren't in tall, high-rise buildings. We didn't have electricity. Well, according to whatever timeline you were on. I don't know where you came from. So that's why the pole shift might cause way more upheaval, which I know it will. That being said, you need to pay attention to your body. And we discussed how right before the earthquakes or any impending disasters like volcano eruptions, animals' endocrine system has an alarm system that goes off. One of the qualities that has come with me, because my family has died in Martinique from a volcano eruption, the ones who survived the volcano eruption in Martinique, and you can look this up, had a very unique quality, and it comes from our native family. We're allergic to sulfur. Most people don't realize what that is. You say, what does that mean? Why would that be linked to the volcano? That is part of my native alarm system that comes with me genetically. So whenever there's an eruption, there's a little bit of gas that seeps from the ground, which is called sulfur. Sulfur dioxide is different scientific names. Very minuscule. When people who are indigenous to the area are actually from there, they get bodily reactions. So what happened to my ancestors who actually resided in places where the volcano was, some of the family who were non-foreign to those arenas got the alarm. They started to get sick. They started to get head dizzy. They started to be motivated to run, anxiety. That was because of the way that our body reacted to sulfur. So that being said, listen to your body's cues during this change and shift. It will cue you in order to, many of you are relocating and you don't even know why. You don't realize that you have an alarm metaphysically, spiritually that went off in you, a subconscious knowing that's hitting you and saying, oh, I don't want to live here anymore. Just all of a sudden, like everything falls apart. Like, why am I living here? Like your whole world is changing where you need to live. So take that and make sure you aren't ignoring those things. It's very important for you to be mindful that those are cues motivating you to relocate. It's perfect and it's healthy. So make sure you just pay attention to that. People always ask for the safety of themselves. You will be the placement that you are supposed to be in for whatever spiritual evolution. So the more awake you are, the less you have to be woken up. Okay, the people who will probably have the most adversity and trauma based with the pole shift are people who are very fast asleep. Their alarm system needs to be more heightened because they aren't awake and aware. So keep from judging them and make sure that you take care of you and your direct family. Okay, just do that. And you can always give people fair warnings, but if they're not receptive, it means they're not meant to be. Okay. Yeah, they're starting to get people away from the coastlines, but I think that's another motivation because they're doing a lot of dirt there too, and a lot of the whales and stuff are dying. You know, they're trying to make people very fearful of the waterways. That's a whole nother agenda that we can get into all day. Yeah, we're going back to 0 point. That's all it is. It isn't any fear. Just, I want you guys to just be prepared. That's all. And so we can rock it out. I'm all about the celebration. I'm looking forward to the celebration post-pole shift. The party post-pole shift will be off the chain. Actually, off the map. That's going to be the invitation. The party post-pole shift will be off the map. It's going to be wild. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, family. Yeah, I want to see mermaids too. Well, if the waterways are coming in, you're going to see a lot of things coming in from the water. It'll be beautiful. You know, keep fear out of it. I'm happy it rained though, because I wanted I haven't been able, my sprinklers broke. So I was hoping it rained because my plants needed rain, and I go to each and every one and I do it manual, and I only give them from the filtered water. So I'm so grateful for the rain. These are things in Florida you're so grateful for. So, all right, family, I think I talked your head off. I talked your head off. I'm grateful you joined me today. So, yeah, they needed a rake, Natalie. They needed the water. I'm looking, they're so happy right now. So just, you know, like I said, on for the conference. Anyone, big up to all of those who are coming from the conference. A lot of people booking already. For those who are booking, just know that you also, everyone's staying at one particular site by the conference. So I have the hotel that I preferenced for the conference. For those who book their hotels, obviously you get the location where the general location where the conference is. So just know if you're booking your conference, I will make sure that you guys stayed, because last year we all stayed in the castle. So that was kind of cool because we were all running to each other's room. That was a lot of fun. So this year I wanted to have the same kind of thing because I'm staying somewhere else, but everybody, at least they're staying on site. And it's always cool because then you guys could talk to each other, chill out. It's nice because some people are staying in New Orleans for a week. Some are staying for only a couple of days. Remember, the conference is from, the certain parts of the conference. Some people are just coming for the conference November 2nd, which is on a Saturday. And some are coming for the masquerade and the conference and the meet and eat, right? Not the greet and eat. Fleurbrun has to eat, because we're going to do eating. We're going to go beignets and have coffee. So we do the meet and greet. So whoever books for the Mardi Gras is going automatically to the meet and eat. So we'll be doing that. So just make sure when you book. Now, someone asked when I'm closing booking. I don't really know. I don't necessarily want. I like a healthy amount of people to go. I don't really have a time frame. I do everything myself how I see it. If it's too many people, I'll just stop. I'll just cut it off at that point. Okay, because I want it to be personal and enjoyable. Okay. Also, we got big up to Ubaka. We got another person joining the conference. People are adding themselves to the conference. I'm okay with it. So just know when you get the conference, there's going to be extra people coming and speaking at the conference and performing. As you know, Ubaka is one of our drum circleists. She's a drummist. She's going to come with that beautiful native indigenous vibration with the drums. So I'm so excited. So she's going to the conference as well to perform. And also I'm going to have Ubaka speak because she's so amazing, so wise. Offset will not be able to come this year because Offset's little one is turning 1 year old. And we would have liked to reschedule it, but I think children are more important than conferences. That's just how I roll. So I think it's more important. I think it's amazing that she's going to celebrate a 1 year anniversary of her little one. So she won't be able to come. So we'll do something another time. So big it to Offset. She'll be there in spirit. All right, family. So, Luna Ash is going to be there. Ada's going to be there. We got Cosmic Poet who's going to be there. Now we got Kubaka's going to be there. We also have Unica who's going to be there. And there's a couple other people who want to join the thing. There's some conference. We got some big hitter conference UFO conference people who are trying to come. They're going to have to be nice though, because, they want to come to my parade, but I'm not invited to their parade. It's like, why you want to come to my party when I'm never invited to your party? But I may allow them to come and speak. Depends on my mood. Okay. You know, you show people how to treat you. Anyway, so that's it, family. I think that's all the questions. I think I got all the questions. I hope I did. So thank you for all the donations, those who made donations so far. I appreciate it. And we shall reconvene. I think we're doing Aquarius Rising show. I think I have a guest on Thursday. I'll mention the guest once I solidify it. So I'll have a guest on. I'll probably do it. I think I'm doing it straight up YouTube. So Aquarius Rising the 9th Gate will be on. And I think that's it. I think I talked for, how long have we been on? How long have we been on here? I think we've been on here like 2 hours. Have I been on here 2 hours? Crazy. Anyway, family, I love you. Have a masterful day, and we will reconvene. And also remember that Kay put in the wireless bras in there. So make sure you put the wireless. Make sure you look at the. Oh, you know what, Kay? Kay, can you do me a favor? Kay, can you put the link actually in the description box so I can pin it in the comments? So for this video, when we get off, Kay, thank you. Yeah, just put that. Thank you. I appreciate it because Kay put it. I'm so excited. Thank you again, Kay. So we can all get bra. That's the next step from us going braless. I think if we all do a braless day, they can't arrest us all. They can't arrest us all for going braless. This is the first step to like being braless, though. So we got to go wireless, and then we'll do braless. So if we do it we do it uniform, they can't get us all. Anyway, let me stop. I love you, family. Be safe, be good, and avoid the Saturn Santa drive-bys. Stay in your lane and stay out of other people's business. All right, love you. Peace. If I can, I don't even know how to end. You know what's crazy? I don't know how to end this. Oh, there we go.